A Light Within Darkness Chapter 104 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. The Green Lads. Fucking the Green Boyz. I was losing fucking brain cells as I punched orcs through walls, and cutting orcs into little giblets, as cutting orcs into 4 or 5 pieces typically didn't even kill them. Fun fucking fact of the day. Did you know that decapitating an orc was literally only a minor inconvenience to them when an Ork Painboyz just stuck the decapitated head onto another orc's shoulders? Yeah, I had to properly pulp their brains and destroy their 4 fucking hearts and then kick their remains hard enough into a wall to perforate the rest of their organs with the rest of their bones. Honestly. It was far easier to just burn all the bastards with my young flames. Where the fuck is the biggest of you? I snarled as I jumped down a rickety balcony onto a rushing group of orcs heading somewhere. And my only response was a larger orc crying out. It's a squiggy Yumi with a flaming sword. Crump him and get his sword. Crump my ass. I yelled out with exasperation as I waved a hand, sending a wave of flames that washed over them and burning them horribly, with their makeshift metal armor not protecting them from the flames. The larger orc, however, due to the passive WAF energy, was able to withstand my flames for a couple of seconds, so I let him free while I burnt the rest of his group to death. Where is the boss? I demanded as I walked over and kicked one of the orc's tusk-like teeth out of its exposed jaw with it groaning and saying with a wide grin. Alright, Yumi. The boss has already left the ship to go get the loot and pew-pew daka from the fishy boys. I slammed my boot into the orc's head, mulching its brain with my young flames exploding furiously around me as I burned the surroundings to ashes with even the thick metal walls surrounding me turning red hot. Mountain Piercer, I whispered as I spun my saber around, and then, with a step, I stabbed forward with a powerful beam of sword intent, shooting out from my blade and carving through the wall I was facing. I could feel my sword intent flying with power unimpeded of the mortal trash metal and of stone. And as it finally broke through the ship with my sword, intent on hitting the ground outside the ship, I quickly flew into the hole I made out of the ship as the boss couldn't have gotten far yet. And as I came out of the ship, I felt Mattia sending me a request for a call in our jade sticks, so I picked up with our chi connecting us. Yes, disciple. I spoke calmly as I flew into the air to try to pick out the war boss in the ruins of the countryside forest the damned ship had landed on as it missed the nearby city. Master, apparently, the war boss used a parachute made of skinned squigs to land inside the city. He isn't on the attack meteor. I froze before I smiled and said. I see. Well, I am going to help you guys deal with the attack meteor. We don't want the orcs who left the remains to curse the world to be filled with their reproductive spores. I will be in the city looking for the war boss in 5 minutes at most. With that I hung up the call with my eye twitching at being outplayed via the damned orc warboss being too damned excited to get into the scrap. And just skydiving out of its damned attack meteor. Let the world become its primeval core a beginning, I whispered as I brought my arms together in a hug, and then I glowed incandescently white in power as I slowly leaned back. And even as I began leaning back, the ground melted beneath my feet, and by the time my back collided with the ground, it was a soft syrup in texture as I activated a fire/earth cultivation spell, the earth rumbling around me as I reached deep into the world to bring up a powerful volcanic vent. I wonder how my disciples are doing. Wait, I think my human and Eldar elder disciples were assigned to that city as well. Well Arya and Darius will do fine in holding back the war boss after fighting carnifexes. I mused as the thick molten lava exploded past and around my form as I continuously widened the radius of the volcanic vent. The orc attack meteor began sinking into the ground as the surroundings became the site of a sudden volcano going off with all its fury, sending thick molten ash into the surroundings with lightning born of the sudden storm, slamming home into anyone wearing metal in the forest that was going to be made into a modern Pompeii. And what do you know? Dumbass orcs tend to wear and hold a bunch of metal on them. My goal was to literally sink the entire orc attack meteor into a volcanic vent and be surrounded by flowing lava for the next 1,000-odd years. If any orcs somehow managed to come out of there in a couple of thousand years. Fuck it, they deserve the world at that point.